Okay, so once you have run a test of this, you'll probably discover that you need to add some more reinforcement. So one way you can do that is by adding ribs kind of across uh, here to further support some of these gaps. So the way you can do that in Fusion is to actually use what's called the web tool, which is a little confusing because there's also a rib tool, but we're going to use the web tool. So you start by creating a sketch, and you want to create it sort of on this lip here. You can also create it, I think, on the bottom there, but I'm going to do my sketch on the lip here. And I need to make sure that what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line across here that's going to guide my web. But I need to make sure it anchors to the existing geometry. So to do that, I'm going to use the project tool, which of course has the keyboard shortcut P. And I'm just going to click on here, and I'm going to also click on this red line right here, I think. Let's see how that plays out. So you can see I've got the line here that I can connect to. So I'm going to go get my line tool, and I'm going to hover over here till I get the X, so that way I know that it's anchored to that existing geometry. And I'm going to click there, and now I don't think I made this. Usually if you are careful, it will make the line straight across. So this is a right angle here. It's called being perpendicular. Don't think I did that. So if that's the case, then you want to go and get your perpendicular constraint and click on that line and that line. Yeah, you can see I didn't. And now you can see the little perpendicular icon is there to tell me it's perpendicular. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I need to decide how far away from the edge this is going to be. So maybe I'll make that 100. And now I can finish the sketch. Okay, so I've now got this line here. So in order to make my vertical web, or my support in here, my rib in there, I'm going to go to the web tool. I'm going to click on here, and then I can just decide. I can drag this out, and so I can make that web as thick as I want. So this is another variable that you can play around with as you try to figure out how to make sure that your shelf is still strong. And you can see here on the right, it's set to symmetric. You could also just do a one-sided extrude. All right, but I'm going to stick to symmetric. So if it's symmetric, that means that whatever I type in here is going to be doubled in terms of the overall thickness. So if I make this, say, 5 millimeters, that'll make the entire thing 10 millimeters thick. Okay, and so that's a really simple way to make just a support rib going across. Now you're probably going to want more than one support rib. And so you could just keep drawing lines, but there's a faster way to do it. And so what you want to do is use the pattern tool. Okay, so we often use this when we're in sketches, but you can also use the pattern tool when you're in the solid modeling workspace. And I'm going to make a rectangular pattern. Now the thing is you want to just select this rib, and right now it's selecting the whole body. That's because the object type for the pattern is set to bodies. If you change that to features, now you can select an individual feature of that body. And then for the axis, I'm going to just select this line here. And so now if I drag this out, you can see that I am making, oh, I see now. I think I'm going to have to go, let's go back here and make sure I select. So I need to make sure I select the entire feature. Let's see, let's try that again. Create. We'll go pause for a minute here while I figure this out. Okay, so I was right the first time. So we'll go create, pattern, rectangular pattern. Make sure it's set to features. We'll select this rib right here. we will drag it along the axis here, and so you now have control over how many of these you want. You can just increase the number here, and right now this is set to extent for distribution. You can also do it by spacing, and then if you do it by spacing, you're going to want to add the spacing distance, but I'm just going to go by extent, and I'll just drag this out to about here. And I can see one's going to overlap with this boss here, so maybe I'll drag him out a bit further. Or you know what, I'm thinking maybe I will increase that to 6. There we go, and then I go okay, and now I've got a pattern of those different ribs in there.